Hello, I am Michael Rigakos, and this is a film about the AVRO AVRO. The CF-105 AVRO AVRO was a supersonic delta-wing interceptor aircraft developed by the AVRO company in Canada, headquartered in Toronto, Ontario. During the Second World War, AVRO was Canada's largest aircraft manufacturer and was responsible for designing and building the famous Lancaster bomber used by the Allies against the Axis forces. After the war, the company turned to jet engine and jet-powered fighters for their future. They took on a great and ambitious design project and eventually started investing tremendously into research and development. The story of the CF-105. In 1946, AVRO designed Canada's first jet fighter called the XC-100. It did not enter service until 1952. It operated under NORAD guidance to guard against Soviet nuclear bombers that may fly over the direct route to the US, over the northern Arctic, and through Canadian airspace. The aircraft company continued their research and development of jet fighters with the purpose of making an advanced and much larger supersonic interceptor. In April of 1953, AVRO started designing the CF-105 AVRO. It was to become a twin-engine, state-of-the-art supersonic jet interceptor to work alongside NORAD and protect the northern skies from the Soviet nuclear bomber threat. Its purpose was to replace the CF-100. In the height of the Cold War, the Soviets had the capability of flying over Canadian Arctic to attack North America. The seriousness of this threat led to a vast amount of investment to create the CF-105 AVRO Aero. The development of the Aero was not easy. Many technical and manufacturing techniques had to be invented. Top Canadian engineers and skilled workers took on this effort. It also involved dozens of suppliers and collaboration from the U.S. Air Force. Over 14,000 Canadians were employed, supporting the design and development of the CF-105 AVRO Aero.
On October the 4th, the first Arrow is publicly unveiled by Canada's Minister of National Defense. This is the first time that the public is able to see what AVRO's big new supersonic interceptor really looks like.
At the height of the Cold War, this was also the same day the Soviets launched the Sputnik into space. On March 25, 1958, test pilot Janusz Zyrkowski boarded the plane once again after several taxi tests, but this time was the day for flight trials. The CF-105 took off and was photographed by two chase planes as it maneuvered and performed several flight tests in the air before coming back and landing successfully. 4 years of design and development led to a hero's welcome and a testament to the hundreds of Canadians that made history that day. The aircraft performed almost flawlessly as it went through its test sequences. The flight of the AVRO Aero was a figure of Canadian pride with respect to the engineering that went into the most advanced jet fighter in the world. It truly was a statement to the capability of Canadian companies to develop military weapons of this caliber, and it became a symbol of Canadian excellence. The greatest achievement in Canadian aviation history was not allowed to fulfill its mission. The cost of the program was becoming a burden to the Canadian government. Furthermore, recent advances in military strategy and defenses, such as the intercontinental ballistic missile, was a direct competition to the mission capabilities of the AVRO Aero project. On February 20th, 1959, Prime Minister John Diefenbaker canceled the project altogether. Not only was the project canceled, 14,000 highly skilled workers and engineers lost their jobs. Many more were also affected, since dozens of the suppliers and their workers were out of the job too. The designs of the AVRO Aero were also ordered to be destroyed, along with the actual aircraft. The project had to be completely scrapped. The program was to disappear. The aircraft were dismantled and sold for scrap metal to a Hamilton steel dealer. The Canadian government went into an agreement with the US to adopt a missile system to answer the Soviet threat of a nuclear attack in cooperation with NORAD. Also, there was an additional agreement with both countries that did not allow Canada's future involvement in developing military weapons of great significance. Several of the talented individuals involved with the AVRO Aero were recruited by NASA and helped put men on the moon. Others were hired by American aircraft companies. These companies went on to develop capable and powerful military aircraft supplying not only the US itself, but Canada as well as other countries in the world. Canada experienced what was called a brain drain, where Canadian ingenuity was relocated but never forgot its roots. The CF-105 AVRO Aero is a symbol of what Canadian talent, engineering, and vision can do. It still stands today as a figure of Canadian pride. Thank you for listening.